Welcome back, everyone, and if you're joining us for the first time, you're very welcome. Today's update is one that millions of Americans are urgently searching for right now because January 2026 has officially arrived, and with it comes renewed talk, renewed rumors, and renewed hope about a possible $2,000 stimulus check. The big question everyone is asking is simple but incredibly important. Is a $2,000 stimulus payment connected to President Donald J. Trump actually coming this month, or is this just another viral rumor spreading online? In this video, we're going to break everything down clearly, carefully, and honestly, including what's real, what's speculation, and what still depends on Congress. Before we get into all the crucial details, I only ask one small favor. If you find this information helpful, take just 2 seconds to hit the like button. It really helps support these updates. And now, let's get straight into it. Over the past year, rumors about new stimulus checks, IRS direct deposit relief payments, and so-called tariff dividend payments have been circulating nonstop. Throughout 2025, we saw wave after wave of online posts claiming money was coming any day now, and as we step into 2026, those rumors have only intensified. The difference this time, however, is that senior figures connected to the current administration are now openly talking about the possibility of new payments. That's why January 2026 is suddenly being described as a make-or-break month for this $2,000 stimulus discussion. According to statements that have recently resurfaced, the idea being discussed is a potential $2,000 payment for households, particularly low- and middle-income Americans. Some officials have suggested that if this happens, payments could arrive within the first 3 months of 2026. That means January, February, or March are all technically on the table. Some people are speculating it could arrive immediately after the new year. Others think it may take until February around Valentine's Day, while some believe March could be the more realistic timeline. What's important to understand is that none of these dates are confirmed, but the window itself is now being openly discussed at high levels. To understand why this matters so much, we need to step back and look at how federal stimulus payments actually work. The last round of federal economic impact payments went out in 2021, when eligible Americans received checks of up to $2,000. Since then, there have been no new nationwide stimulus checks approved by Congress. That's a key point. No matter who is president, no new stimulus payment can go out unless Congress passes legislation authorizing it. This is where recent comments from Kevin Hassett become extremely important. Kevin Hassett explained that the president has repeatedly referred to the idea of $2,000 checks being sent to households, particularly those earning under $100,000 per year. When asked directly whether Americans should plan to receive these checks in 2026, Hassett made it clear that everything depends on Congress. He emphasized that Congress must send the money to the people, but he also revealed something that has caught everyone's attention. He said that over the past several months, the U.S. economy has shown strong growth, including quarters approaching 4% growth, and that the federal deficit compared to last year has dropped by hundreds of billions of dollars. In fact, he noted that the government has even been running a surplus for a few months. According to Hassett, earlier in the year he wasn't sure there was room for a stimulus payment like this, but now he says he's confident that the financial space exists. That's why he expects that early in the new year, meaning January 2026, the president will bring forward a formal proposal to Congress to make this happen. This is a major shift because it moves the idea from online speculation into the realm of actual legislative discussion. Hassett also clarified that while tariff revenue could play a role, the funding wouldn't automatically come from one specific source. The government collects money through taxes, tariffs, and other revenues, and Congress ultimately decides how that money is spent through appropriations. That means this $2,000 payment would require a bill, votes in the House, votes in the Senate, and then final approval from President Trump. So what happens next if a proposal is introduced? First, the bill would go to the House of Representatives. If it passes there, it would move on to the Senate. If the Senate approves it, it would then land on President Donald J. Trump's desk for final signature. Only after all of those steps could the IRS begin distributing payments to eligible Americans. This process takes time, but the fact that January 2026 is being discussed as the starting point is why this month is so critical. Now comes the biggest question of all. Will Congress actually pass this bill? Surprisingly, the outlook right now is more positive than many people expected. Support for a $2,000 stimulus payment is not limited to one political party. Republicans close to President Trump support the idea because they argue that the United States is bringing in massive revenue through tariffs, with Trump himself claiming the country is receiving not just billions, but trillions of dollars. From this perspective, sharing a portion of that revenue with low- and middle-income Americans is seen as both fair and politically smart. On the other side, many Democrats also support the idea, though for different reasons. Democratic leaders continue to argue that Americans are facing a serious affordability crisis. While President Trump has dismissed the idea of an affordability crisis as exaggerated or even a hoax, Democrats point to rising costs for housing, food, healthcare, and utilities as proof that many households are struggling. From their point of view, a $2,000 stimulus check would provide much-needed temporary relief to families who are barely getting by. Several well-known Democratic figures, including leaders like Ro Khanna and Andrew Yang, have publicly supported direct payments to Americans. Their argument is straightforward. Millions of people cannot afford basic necessities, and direct cash payments are one of the fastest ways to help. Because both parties see political and economic benefits in this proposal, many analysts believe there is a strong chance the House and Senate could approve it if a formal bill is introduced. This is why January 2026 matters so much. If the proposal is officially introduced this month, it could move quickly through Congress. If it passes, President Trump would sign it, and the IRS would then begin the process of issuing payments, most likely through direct deposit first, followed by paper checks. That's the scenario many Americans are hoping for, but it's important to remember that until Congress votes, nothing is guaranteed. Before we go any further, let me ask you directly, do you personally support a $2,000 stimulus check? If you do, make your voice heard by writing, "I support $2,000 check" in the comments. Public support matters, and staying silent never changes anything. Now let's clear up some confusion about IRS relief payments, because this is where many people get misled. In late 2024 and early 2025, the IRS did issue automatic payments of up to $1,400 to certain eligible taxpayers. These payments were for people who had not claimed the recovery rebate credit on their 2021 tax returns. Those payments were sent by direct deposit or check, and recipients were notified by mail. The final deadline to claim that $1,400 credit was April 15, 2025, and that deadline has now passed with no extensions. As of right now, there is no active IRS relief program sending out new stimulus checks. Congress has not approved any new IRS-issued payments, and the IRS has not announced any upcoming checks outside of normal tax refunds. This is extremely important to understand. Any claims that the IRS is secretly sending out relief money right now are false. The $2,000 stimulus check being discussed is a completely separate issue. It would require new legislation and would not be part of any existing IRS relief program. The only payments the IRS is currently issuing are standard tax refunds. President Trump has claimed that refunds in 2026 could be significantly larger for some households, with figures ranging anywhere from $11,000 to $20,000 being mentioned, but those numbers are projections, not guarantees. So where does that leave us right now? It leaves us at a critical moment. January 2026 could be the month when a formal proposal for a $2,000 stimulus check is introduced. It could also be the month when nothing happens. The difference will depend on Congress, negotiations, and political priorities in the coming weeks. What we can promise is that this topic is not going away. We'll be closely following every development, every statement, and every vote related to this potential payment. If you want to stay fully updated on the $2,000 stimulus check and any other relief news, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss future updates. If you found this breakdown helpful, don't forget to like the video, as it really helps get this information out to more people. Thank you so much for watching, take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next update very soon.